Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is DAYSDRTEA, and I am super excited that you found your way here. Ciao. This episode was a lot, hunty. Woo. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump right on in this thing. This video is going to be about the challenge, season 32, episode 6. So let's skip all the BS and get right on into the video. Get your cups, and let's go.
All of these detours, I cannot be sure if this is the right way, but I stay on pace. Yeah, I'm on my way. Tell them I'm on my way. On my way, on my way, on my way. I'm on my way, on my way. Tell them I'ma get there, surely.
So we start the episode off at the Redemption House. CT is making this board. Now, on the board, he's basically putting all the teams up there, and he's connecting them, you know, who has the strongest alliance members, who is the strongest team itself, who are the weak teams, you know, who's disposable, this, that, and the third. He's basically just lining it up, I guess, to get his mind right, just in case he gets back into the game. He knows where to align himself to where him and Veronica are cool. And child, the accuracy of the board, honey, CT know this game. If you don't know shit else, he know this game, okay? In the main house, we finally get to this damn phone call that we have been waiting for between Brittany and Brad. And it's like, finally, damn. So Brad calls Brittany and she picks up the phone. She's super excited to see her man. She's super excited to hear from Brad. And Brad's just like, yeah, I need answers. I have questions and I need answers. So he asks Brittany to tell him what went down in the Redemption House, and she's like, nothing. But MTV is good for the flashbacks, okay? Because they flash back to all the shit that was actually happening in the Redemption House. And so Brad proceeds to tell Brittany about what Jose told him about her being in her panties in front of Chuck and drinking in front of Chuck, this, that, and the third. And she since had the audacity to say, well, I mean, one time I was in my underwear in the backyard, and I'm just like, girl, one time, get your life. So, that conversation happens, and Brad comes to the conclusion that he believes what Brittany is saying, and so he's going to trust her, and he'll see her when he gets home. Gets off the phone, and he goes and joins the rest of the house, you know, and they all want to know how the phone call went. And he's just like, you know, she said Jose was lying. There was not truth to what Jose was saying. And so, you know, Kyle, for whatever reason, links this back to Paulie. He's like, don't forget, if Paulie comes back in here, he's stirring all this shit up. He's starting all this shit. And we're like, son, he's not even here. Okay? Paulie is in the Redemption House living his best redemption life. Why are you still pressed? Now we're being taken on the journey of the men and their women. Sylvia is in her confessional, and she's basically saying that, you know, the men have been coming into the room, particularly, well, specifically Nelson, Joss, and Kyle. Kyle for Faith, Joss for Amanda, and then Nelson, of course, for Kaylee. And so she's like, you know, I'm just trying to sleep. And y'all loud. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. So she's describing what's going on in the room when the men come over. And then Kaylee comes behind her, and she's like, yeah, I mean, they come in there, but they're not really lasting too long, so it's really not that big of a deal. We flash to a conversation between Zach and Tori. And Zach and Tori are talking about how their teams really aren't the strongest teams in there. You know, Zach says Amanda has her, you know, downfalls within the team, and that, you know, Derek isn't really doing what he's supposed to be doing as far as his team goes. And they're just basically saying, you know, if you don't vote for me, I won't vote for you. And you're just talking about the whole burning the vote process. They're having a conversation about that, and they agree not to burn votes on each other. A lot of the cast members are upstairs playing Never Have I Ever in the living room. And in the midst of playing the game, it comes out that Faith and Kyle had sex. And so everybody starts screaming and going crazy and cheering or whatever. And we hear that downstairs. Me, Cara, Tori, and I forget who else was down there, but We hear them screaming. We don't know why. We just know that they're screaming, and we're like, okay, what's going on? So Shane, messy ass, come down there, and he relays the message that, Kyle and Faith have had sex. And he does it in front of Cara. And my thing is, you know that this girl is very sensitive about this particular subject, and that's supposed to be your friend. Why would you come down here and say that in front of her? Like, why would you spill that tea in front of her? You know what I mean? Like, messy boots. That's your friend, though. Your friend. So this is going on, and Cara starts to get in her feelings. Well, while she's in her feelings, Angela and Faith come into the room. And when they come into the room, Faith is just like, well, what's up? Because I'm tired of tiptoeing around each other. I'm tired of us dancing around each other. Like, I'm sick of the triangle. Let's just hash it out. Like, let's talk about it. As women, let's have this conversation. And so she confronts Cara, and she's like, you're single. Kyle's single, I'm single. So what's the problem? Like, why are you so upset? And so Cara's like, yeah, we're all single, but there's history between me and Kyle. History that you won't understand because you weren't here. That's something that we need to work through. That's her mentality in that moment. And so Faith is like, could give a damn about history. The facts are the facts, and the facts are all three of us are single. So whatever's going on between me and Kyle is just that. Plus, Kyle is telling Faith, Faith says, Kyle is telling him, I don't want her. I don't want nothing to do with her. So, Faith is like, okay, well, if you don't want her and you don't want nothing to do with her, then all bets are off. What's up? And it's messy. It's a messy situation. But they're having it. They're having that moment. The end result is Cara crying, and she's feeling really bad. And then Shane makes a comment, and he's like, "Oh, I feel so sorry for you." And I'm like, "You full of shit, because that's your friend. If you felt sorry for her, why would you bring this tea to her? You initiated this whole moment. This girl wouldn't be sitting in this bed crying if you wouldn't have brought this down here." Over at the Redemption House, TJ shows up. And it's time for Polly, Natalie, CT, and Veronica to see a video to see a clip in the surveillance room. So they all go in there, and they're super excited to see what's going on in the main house. Now, the clip that is shown is Kyle getting into Faith's bed, and then it also shows Bananas and Angela sitting in the chairs by the pool, laying in the chairs by the pool, kissing. And that kind of, you can see it on Natalie's face in her confessional. She says she's happy for them and she wishes them well. But you can see she's affected by it, Granted, she does not have feelings for him anymore. Nobody wants to see their ex with another person. Even if you don't care for them anymore, even if you know for sure you don't want them back, it's just certain shit you still don't want to see. And you can see it affected her when she saw the clip. So that's the clip that TJ brought for them to look at. It's time for the next challenge. And I'm excited because I'm like, yay, I get to compete again. And, I'm really getting excited about being on the challenge and conquering my fears, So we walk up to the challenge and, bitch, I saw this train. I saw this train, and I know this show. I'm a fan of the show, so I know the train is not just going to be sitting, stationary. Like, it's not just going to be chilling. Like, this thing is going to be moving, and I'm going to be on it. So what's up? And so I try to psych myself out, like, okay, bitch, time to get your Laura Croft on. Like, it's time to go ahead and just be hopping back and forth, back and forth. You got to get in that mindset. Don't be no punk. Like, go on in there and do what you got to do. So before we can do any of that, we have to handle the business of the advantage. So TJ lets Kyle and Brad know that because they won the last challenge, they have an advantage in this one. And in this one, they kind of get to handicap one of the teams as they're going through the obstacle course on the train. And so they go off to deliberate. Brad and Kyle go off to deliberate. And Kyle is like, Davon and Jose, Davon and Jose. That's the theme this season, Davon and Jose. And so Brad is like, nah, hell no. And, shout out to my partner. Because when we got in the house, he built a relationship with Brad. Like, he built a bond with Brad. So who knows, if Jose hadn't, had that conversation and built that bond with Brad, maybe, Brad would have been like, yeah, let's go ahead and give them the disadvantage. So, they decide to give it to Cara and Marie. And Cara and Marie is like, huh? You say who? Gonna do what to huh? As you're trying to get from one platform to the next on the train while it's going, there's this rope. Like, that's the first helper on the rope. It helps you and your partner be able to grab, gain stability, and then make your way over to the next part of the train. Now, what the disadvantage did was it took that rope away. So you and your partner literally had to just continue to balance off of each other from one side to the next. You didn't get to have that rope and just kind of like, gather yourself before you went to the next part of the train. And that sucks, because in a challenge like this, you need all the help that you can get, okay? Because that challenge was not easy. So taking that away really put that team at a disadvantage. As the challenge is happening, we dropping like flies. I mean, it is bad. I mean, disqualified. Like, it's terrible. This challenge is actually really difficult. Tony and Bananas do really well. Cara and Marie make it. They make it actually to the point where the rope was supposed to be. And if that rope was there, like Marie said in her confessional, if the rope was there, they probably would have did really well, but the disadvantage took it away. And so now it's me and Jose's turn, and we're teamed up with Tori and Derek. So it's us over here and Tori and Derek are over there. And I'm thinking to myself, these two can't get along for shit. Their communication is trash. So we might have this in the bag if me and my partner can really work together. So we get up there, and the sucky part about it is how they did it was you get on the train right here, which is in front of the other cast members, but the train takes off way down here somewhere. So we don't get to see everybody as they go through it. Like, we don't get to watch them because it's so far away. And it's like, damn, this is one of those challenges where it's like, damn, I would like to watch the people who went before me so I could see their strategy, but you couldn't because it was too far away. So it was just like, to each their own. So we get up there and I'm like, all right, let's go. So me and my partner are having the hard, okay, now let me explain this challenge, okay? There's this very tight, slim beam, okay? And you and your partner have to balance off of each other. At all times, you guys have to be facing each other. So whether you facing each other like this, or if you facing each other like this, you have to be facing each other at all times. So me and my partner are like, okay, we're gonna balance our weight on each other and just kind of like, two-step it all the way to the other side. Child, that train got the going. And I started thinking to myself, Devon, do you really trust Jose? Bitch, not with your life, not with this train going. And, that loss was my fault. That loss was 1,000% my fault because I didn't fully trust him. I didn't. He was telling me what to do. He was like, Devon, let your body go limp. If your body just fully just drop it. Just let your body just, and if I would have listened to him and did that, him being as strong as he is could have pulled my weight and used it so we can get over. But I didn't trust none of that. I was like, you're going to let me fall? I might crack my head on this train. Like, hell no. All my fears came into my head. I just went in it. So that loss was my fault. We ended up getting disqualified. But the team that ended up winning was Zach and Amanda. And when I found out that they won, I'm like, well, I'll be damned. Like, this is the team that sent us to the Redemption House. So immediately I'm like, yep, power vote going straight to me and my partner. We got to do some work because I got to do some type of politicking because I can't go back to the Redemption House. So partner, what we going to do? We're back at the house now. Kyle and Cara are on the patio and they're having a very close, intimate conversation and just, kind of hashing things out. And Cara is expressing her feelings and Kyle is listening and smiling and wooing her. And the next thing you know, Cara done hopped in his lap and it's like, hold up, hop ass back. What you doing? You supposed to be staying strong. What you doing? So she hopped in his lap and, she's in his face and it looks like they're about to kiss. And then Maria's like, I think the fuck not. She's like, what are you doing? Get out of his lap. Like, this ain't it. We know what? Girl, no. So girl is like, we're just talking. Nothing's happening. We're just talking. So that happens. The camera flashes to Shane and Zach having a conversation. Shane is trying to, pick Zach's brain and see where his mind is in regards to where is he throwing his 2 votes. And of course he says Dayvon and Jose because, the stones have already been thrown from the first challenge. So might as well go ahead and continue down that road. And so Shane, is trying to push the agenda of Angela and Faith. And that is all to take a shot at Johnny. Everybody wants to come for Johnny, but nobody wants to do it right now. So let's weaken his, allies. Let's take away his allies and then we can weaken him and then we can attack him. But my thing is, everybody walking around here like they Boosie badass. Everybody is like, I'm not afraid of this person. I'm not afraid of this. And this is the season where you can put somebody up for elimination and you can be the one to take them out. Now, if you're really a badass, like you think and proclaim to be, why not just take a shot straight at Johnny, But that wasn't the case. Everybody is like, I think what was it? We have to attack the castle. We can't just, at least they was calling him a king. They was like, we got to attack the castle. So the goal that they were pushing was to get Angela and Faith out as an attempt to take a shot at Johnny. Me and Jose are outside having a conversation and Shane comes in and he's like, I need to talk to you guys and I need to talk to you guys right now. It's very urgent. So he comes back there and he's like, yeah, the house wants you guys out. So I've been working my ass off behind the scenes. I've been working my ass off behind the scenes, trying to shift the attention from you guys over to Angela and Faith. And, I've been just working so hard and I'm listening to him talk and I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. And as soon as he walk off, I tell Jose like, bullshit. Like, nah, you're not about to use me and my partner to be a part of your plan to push your agenda. You want some shit done, you do it yourself. Plus, Angela and Faith are our allies. Like, they've been a part of our alliance since the hotel. Like, okay? Like, we're not about to do that. He walks off. I tell Jose, like, no, I'm not feeling it. I'm not here for it. I don't trust Shane. Being a fan of the show, I know better. Trust Shane? For what? What? No, we're not going to do that. So then the cameras go to a conversation between Zach, Tori, and somebody else was out there. I forget who the other person was, but they're having a conversation and Tori is laying it out there. She's politicking and pleading her case to get these votes towards Angela and Faith. She talks about how Angela and Faith have, really positioned themselves in a really great spot. Angela has Bananas. Faith has Kyle. Those are 2 of the strongest teams in the house. So the girls have done their job, okay? And they recognize that. And so they're like, okay, we need to take them away so we can weaken these guy teams, which is understandable, but we're not going to be a part of that. So keep campaigning, sis. Now it's time for nominations. Everybody goes in there. They cast a vote of who they want to send into eliminations. And now it's me and Jose's turn. And when we go in there, the plan is to not vote for Angela and Faith. But I don't want to just go in there and just be like, we're not voting for them. Okay, now who are we voting for? I don't want to do that because we're still playing a game and we're still fresh in here from the Redemption House. And I don't know what relationships and what alliances they've built while they were in here playing this game. If they've built other alliances, I can't be mad about that because they have to play. They have to survive in this game. It's the game. That's how it's played, But I don't want to be, oh, those are our allies and we're in an alliance and, rookie this, rookie that. We got this. And then they walk in here and they're like, yeah, Devon and Jose, vote. You know what I mean? I don't want to be that fool. Like, I can't do that. So I'm trying to lay out all angles in front of my partner. Like, yeah, we said we're not going to vote for them, but are we sure that they're going to come in here and do the same and not vote for us? You know, I'm just trying to lay everything out on the table. End result, we don't end up voting for them. We decide, okay, we're going to be loyal. We're going to trust that they're not over there doing dirt and they got our back just like we're trying to have theirs. You know, we're going to try to have their back like they're having ours. So we ended up voting for another team. I'm not going to tell you guys what team we voted for because I feel like they're going to reveal that in the next episode, and I kind of don't want to ruin that, but just know it was not them. And because it was not them, child, all hell broke loose. Marie ass can't hold water, okay? I love the girl with everything in me, but she can't hold water, okay? So she done told pretty much everybody, I'm not going to say everybody, but she told a good portion of people that they didn't vote for Angela and Faith. And that was the agreement going into nominations. Cara and Marie were supposed to vote for Angela and Faith, but they didn't. They ended up voting for Brad and Kyle. And that got out because Marie was talking about it. And so, you know, Cara kept it. But Marie was talking about it. And so, you know, Jose is, you know, Cara is writing in her little book thing and she's talking about, oh yeah, this person voted for this person voted for that, but she's being very careful not to say who she voted for. You know, she's not saying anything. She's very tight-lipped about it. And then my damn partner goes, oh, well, this isn't accurate because we didn't vote for Angela and Faith either. And I'm like, huh? Just say, what? You know, that wasn't supposed to come out. So this is how Shane heard it. It was edited as if Shane was standing there listening. No, this is how Shane found out. My partner has a very pure heart, okay? And so, I don't know. He was on this Jiminy Cricket, let your conscience be your guide type shit. And he wanted to give a heads up to the team that we voted for. And my thing is, why? Like, for what? Unless their lights come up and they're sent into elimination and then we have to cross the bridge of battling them, they don't need to know. Like, that's the point of the mystery. Okay, your light came up, but unless you go into elimination, it's just your light coming up. It's on you to figure out who the hell placed a vote where. You know, why are we giving them that information? But my partner decides to tell this team that we burned a vote on them. And then that's the one thing Natalie told me. Natalie said things in this house spread like wildfire. And when I tell you Smokey the Bear ass should have been on duty, this shit spread like wildfire, okay? Man, it went from the team that we voted for to them telling another team, to them telling another team. And before you knew it, the information got back to Shane. So Shane comes downstairs into the room, me and Cara and Tori's room. And, you know, he got his little teacup. And he's talking to Jose. And he goes, so, who did you guys vote for? And I'm in the bathroom. And so I start blowing my nose real loud to pretend like I didn't hear the shit that he just said. I'm trying not to be in the conversation. So I start blowing my nose real loud. And he's like, yeah, who did you guys vote for? And so, you know, Jose, yeah, it is what it is. So Jose said who we voted for. And so Shane starts to have a fit. Like, he starts to throw this big ass temper tantrum. And he starts yelling at Jose. So at that point, I'm like, ugh. So I have to come out the bathroom. And when I come out the bathroom, all of the energy went from Jose to me. Like, he starts going off on me. And I'm like, oh, this ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. So he bucks up to me. He gets loud. And I'm like, you know what? I just feel like you were trying to push an agenda. And you wanted me and my partner to be a part of it. And I'm not going to do what you want me to do. I have to play this game for me and my partner. Just like that is how I said it. And he goes, wow, you're a pathetic bitch. And I said, excuse me? That was the first time he called me a pathetic bitch. That was the first time. He was over in the corner. So then the clip you guys see is him walking over. And when he walks over, he calls me another bitch and calls me pathetic again. And so that's when I really start to, you know, get upset because I'm like, okay, you really pushing it. If you'd have said, I'm terrible at this game, cool. You're my next target, cool. I hate you, cool. Anything. But to go and call me a pathetic bitch just because I didn't do what you wanted me to do, like, you really pushing it. So then he goes and he stands towards the hallway next to Bananas and Tony. And, you know, Bananas is being messy. So Bananas is saying shit in his ear to kind of like pump him up and egg him on. And because he has such a hard on for Bananas, he's allowing this shit to really, you know, make him feel like he Boosie badass or some shit. But what he didn't know was, and he learned very quickly, I'm not the average person to get cast on this show. Like, they came and got my ass from Inglewood, California. You understand? I'm not the average. Okay, so you can't just say and do what you want to say to me and I'm just going to put my hands in my pocket and put my head down and walk away. No, bitch, you want this battle, you finna get all of this, okay? So the show he wanted, I gave it to him. And further backstory, the people in the house were having conversations amongst themselves, and it's like, because I was keeping to myself, like, I told you guys what happened at the hotel and how everybody was acting, how they were acting. And so when we got to back inside the house was divided. So I guess because I was in the room with Cara and Tori, people really wasn't trying to socialize with me and really wasn't trying to deal with me. So I just kept to myself, like, fuck it. Y'all don't want to talk to me. I ain't gonna talk to y'all either. Like, I'm not pressed to be a part of y'all little clique. That's not what I came here for. I came here to collect the coin, put it in the bag, and take it back home. That's all I came for, you know? So everybody's been having these conversations. Oh my gosh, all she does is sit in a room and she keeps to herself and she's really not playing. So they think, which lets me know I'm playing a pretty good damn game if y'all feel like I'm not even playing and I'm doing all this shit behind the scenes. So anyway, they having all these conversations, and so the conversation comes up. They're like, how does she even get cast? You know, I hear Shane say, I don't even know why she got cast. What is it about her that made her get cast on this show? And so when he went over towards the hallway and he was talking shit, Johnny was there, Tony was there, and then everybody started coming out into the hallway. I said, you know what? Since you want to be the guinea pig and you want to be used as an example, okay, I'm about to show all you motherfuckers why I got cast. Turn up time. Then it was time to turn up. So I start going off. And the argument he wanted, I gave it to him. And I'm so mad at myself. Like, even after the fight was over, I had a moment where I actually started crying because I made a promise to myself, okay, Davon, all that yelling and going off on people, leave that on Big Brother. You know, come on this show, turn a new leaf, and don't be yelling at folks. You know, if somebody pushes your button, walk away. Walk away. If somebody tries you, just walk away. Laugh and walk away. But it wasn't that easy for me to walk away from Shane because, like I said in my previous recap video, when I was up there on that stake, the little meat challenge, and I was like terrified and I was crying and I was scared to jump, he was the one rooting for me. Davon, you can do it. Don't be afraid. We all were like that with our first Heights challenge. You can do this. Davon, and got the whole cast like chanting for me. So I know that this facade that you're putting on is not you. Like, this is not you. I've seen you. Or was that just strategy? Were you just playing the game in that moment to try to get me on your side? You know, and that was my problem with Shane, because that moment when he was making me feel comfortable, you know, he helped me get over the fear of falling in that water. And I will always be grateful to him for that. Even with all this shit going on between me and him, I still will never forget that moment, because I try to see the best in everybody. And if that's the only piece of positivity that I can have of him, that's forever going to be with me. It's never going to go away. Even with all the shit going on Twitter and him doing all the stuff that he's doing, I'll still never forget that moment, because that moment made me feel like he was actually a little bit of a good person. You know what I mean? So we're having this moment and it gets ugly, and yeah, it got ugly. And so, you know, it was a lot of stuff that was said in that moment. You know, he called me a bunch of bitches. He called me fat. Like, it was a lot of stuff that went down in that moment. And I'm just like, wow. And when I got in his face, I'm like, don't do it to yourself. Like, not you. Like, and I told him, they didn't show that, but I told him, I said, Shane, don't be the one. Like, don't let it be you. And at that point, I was really speaking from a place of, I care about you a little bit. I don't trust you in this game, but I'm smart enough to differentiate between Shane the person and Shane the player. Shane the player, I could give a fuck about. But Shane the person, come on, man. Like, don't you can't be the reason why I get kicked off this show because I done stumped a hole in your, like, you can't be the one. Like, don't let it be you. It could be anybody else in this house, but don't let it be you because I actually have a space in my heart for you. So they literally end the episode with me and Shane face to face. Like, the moment was hot. It was heated. And that's how they decided to end this episode. Next week's episode is going to be pretty good too. It's a lot of, man, I keep trying to tell y'all this season is packed with a lot of shit. And I know you guys keep saying, well, we want to see challenge and elimination. Too much shit happened during this season for it to just be challenge, elimination. It's too much shit that happened. When I tell y'all the drama is thick, like a lot of shit went down. I don't know if people was feeling themselves or if MTV just really struck gold by pairing people with people they genuinely don't want to be around. But it was a lot. Personalities in this house. It was a lot of shit. It's a lot of stuff that goes down this season. And this ain't even half of it. Like, it gets even more intense as the season progresses. Like, so much shit goes down. So be prepared. It's a lot of stuff that goes down. But anyway, before I start talking too much, let me go ahead and wrap this video up. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure you like this video. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel and turn the notifications on so you can know when these videos go up. I thank you guys so much for rocking with me the way that you guys do. You guys are the most faithful and loyal subscribers. I mean, y'all ride out my day ones for real. I love you guys so much. Thank you for the constant support and the constant love. I couldn't ask for a better group of friends. You guys are dope. Anyway, we're gonna get up out of here. So inhale positive energy. Exhale the bullshit. Raise your glass. And have a sip.
Tell him I'm on my way. On my way, on my way, on my way.